It's a matter of trust, how Bruce Cassidy has built trust with VGK, how the team has learned to trust Cassidy. It's one of our top topics today, coming up ahead right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Of course, find us wherever you get your podcast. You could find us as well on X. He is at TD Chris G. I am at Tony Dasco. We are at Locked On VGK. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That is Locked On Golden Knights. We are brought to you today by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. Just simply go to FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off this NFL season. VGK had the day off yesterday, Chris, and one of the topics that you wanted to discuss is about Bruce Cassidy, how he keeps this team grounded. And even after, again, the loss in Anaheim on Sunday, he assured the team that everything will be okay and thought that perhaps they played their best defensive game of the season, whether that's the truth or not. I think it was more of like a psychological pitch for Bruce. And he's talked about the process before results and process before results. I screwed that up. Process. And Cassidy has earned respect of the team, and they've brought in to trust him. It's become a trust issue between Cassidy and the VGK.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to start it off. Cassidy has had some rough edges in Boston. He learned a lot during that time there. I recall just doing some research for an article over the summer, and Cassidy would have no problem name dropping in a press conference for something negative. He wouldn't openly blast somebody, but he would definitely drop a name and say, okay, well, that could have been better. This could have been better. Instead of what he does now, where he made a comment, I believe this was it the Blackhawk game, about players making blind passes behind, and stuff like that. Cassidy made a comment last season. It was against, I believe, the Winnipeg Jets, where Marchessault had his stick. I bring this up all the time, but it's important. Marchessault had his stick in the wrong lane. Instead of saying one of our leaders had his stick in the wrong spot, or saying Marchessault, was leaving the team hanging out to dry. There you go. He just simply said we had a stick in the wrong spot and stuff like that. And what gets said behind closed doors obviously is a lot different. But to the trust side of it, I mean, he's mentioned coaches' trust and stuff like that a lot in press conferences, especially building up to the season. And he's not saying it because he wants the youngsters not to know they're not trust, but he wants them to know how to build that trust and the things that he's looking for. A great case that is Paul Cotter. Paul Cotter, I believe, was, I won't say on the outside of Cassidy's circle of trust necessarily, but he was that youngster that kind of fit that mold where there was a lot to learn in his game. And Cassidy is still very complimentary of Paul Cotter in postgame pressers and practice pressers and stuff like that. But he also says he needs to grow his game. He needs to work on this, that, and the other. Same thing with Pavel Dorofeev about playing the defensive side of his game and stuff. He uses his words perfectly to where he's building confidence in the players, but not openly saying, hey, you want to make it here, son, this is how you got to do it, and going all, I'm going to say John Tortorella, because John Tortorella has turned over a new side in a positive manner, but I think you get what I'm saying by now.
Yeah, and when we're talking about trust, here's a question for you, because you're around the team all the time. Do you feel as though McCrimmon and McPhee now trust Bruce Cassidy?
I mean, dear God, if
look at your eyes.
Cup, if a Stanley Cup victory doesn't get the job done, then right? McCrimmon and McPhee don't even trust their own kids or something. But I mean, I got to think the trust is definitely there, and we haven't seen or heard McCrimmon, McPhee say anything otherwise. Like, I mean, the trust has to be there. The trust wasn't there day one because McCrimmon made sure to sit right next to him in that opening day press conference. And I'm watching you. That was the vibe I think that we all got.
Big brother was right there, man.
Yeah, no, it was still strange to this day watching that, but yeah, that trust definitely has to be there. Not only because they won the Stanley Cup, but you look like what turmoil exists in the last, and this is before the team won the Stanley Cup, just all last season. Sure, there was a rough patch in the middle there for a minute. I mean, but that happens. You didn't hear anything. I mean, McCrimmon isn't shy. He doesn't talk a lot, but when he does, he's not shy about his words. He didn't have anything negative to say. McPhee didn't go on any Canadian podcasts and have anything negative to say. So I think the trust is definitely there, but as much trust. See, this isn't a product of Cassidy and McPhee and McCrimmon, but this is a product of the NHL. I still remind everybody that NHL coaches' shelf lives, for the most part, unless you're a John Cooper or something like that, the shelf life is very short. And once the wheels come off for an extended period of time, and of course that extended period of time gets defined by George McPhee, Kelly McCrimmon, and Bill Foley. But once the wheels come off, a change does get made. Gerard Gallant, everyone seems to have forgotten how quickly things turned there. Pete DeBoer, same thing. Whether it was fair, foul, or otherwise, Pete DeBoer's time in Vegas was only 2.5 seasons. So there you go. And he took the team to 2 conference finals. So if things don't go well for whatever period of time that Foley, McPhee, McCrimmon think, then yeah, there could at some point be a change. I know people always blast me whenever I say this, but it's not just the reality of the Golden Knights, it's the reality of the NHL.
Okay, now we've talked about the swagger this season of Bruce Cassidy too. Players get confidence and they build confidence right over time. I just think that there's a difference with Cassidy year 2 compared to year 1. A little bit of a feeling out process in year 1, a little bit of a trust issue, who to trust, the media people, the players, the front office, all of that. He's not cocky or arrogant, but he's very, very confident that this is a good team and that they're going to be successful again.
So you made the media comment, definitely. And the trust, I think, definitely is there, the way he interacts. And I mean, he's on my A list because we had an interaction that wasn't the best. And, and Cassidy took a second to apologize to me in a room full of people with cameras rolling. Like, that has to say something about someone's, it's class act, personality, character, accountability, whatever. He's practicing what he preaches right there. And I was because sometimes it's hard to look away from a train wreck. I was watching Jay Woodcroft's press conference after the Oilers got trounced by the Canucks last night.
Do you have to? I mean, did you have to go there?
Why did I take your WTT?
Yeah, no. But it's just it's an entire show.
No, but you mentioned the media side of it. So
right.
One of the media members asks Woodcroft actually got thrown out of the game trying to make this big statement. Okay, I got the team.
He said that he said no bad words.
No bad words.
Okay.
You don't need to say bad words to get thrown out of a game. I've thrown people out for not saying a single bad word to me before.
He had to drop to get tossed. You have to fire F-bombs. You do.
Well, but I think the ref, it was a quick toss too. Like it wasn't a build up or like a baseball style interaction where they get their money's worth. Like the coach is like, or the ref is like, get out. And Woodcroft's like, but so like that for that right there, guys, this is a reason to watch YouTube, because I'm doing little motions of a person walking out the door, getting thrown out of a game.
You should have just kept walking out of the arena. Just kept going.
He's going to. I said, listen, here's what's going to happen. Same thing with McDaniels, right? You're going to have the players only meeting. Okay. And then you're going to get the dreaded vote of confidence from the owner. He's our man. We got confidence. Boom, boom, boom. And then I'm calling Black Friday as the day. It's the 4th game of a 4-game road trip for the Oilers against the Caps. They're going to leave him at the White House.
Are they going to be smoking stogies, in the locker room after they get rid of him?
Oh, because of Crosby and the Raiders. I got you.
Yeah.
So, but where I'm mentioning media, where I'm going with this is me and Tony are having some fun here. One of the media members comes right out, and I don't know if we can get away with this in Vegas or not, but post game, one of the media members says, after this play, I think it was Zach Hyman. Hyman didn't hustle back on a play
No,
or something like
Hyman, they
that.
want a bench. The fans have
Okay.
had enough of Zach
So
Hyman.
Hyman doesn't hustle back. Vancouver gets a goal. He's out there for his next shift immediately. So the media member is like, hey, Hyman, he hit the media member's words. Hey, Hyman doesn't hustle back. Vancouver gets a big goal, and he was out there for his next shift. What does that say about the team's accountability? And Woodcroft, oh, well, what exactly do you mean? Like, whenever a coach asks for clarification in a moment like that, they're buying time trying to think of some canned response. So, yeah, you mentioned media members and the trust. Back to Cassidy. There is that fun element, the fun up and backs with Cassidy. And I think us as media members, we've learned we can kind of ask him one of those goofy questions and throw a little something in there versus when to not do that. And it's not just when the team wins or loses, it's reading the situation. And I think a little thing like that does help gain the trust of the coach because let's face it, I mean, media members in some cities can be a pain in the butt, and coaches don't want to talk and stuff. And I don't see that vibe at all in Vegas. I have no experience outside of Vegas, so I can't speak to what it's like in another major market. But after watching what the Edmonton media is doing to Woodcroft up there, I can imagine we're a little bit on the I'm not going to say the word soft because that's disrespectful, but we're definitely not as aggressive.
It's soft.
We're not as aggressive as other markets.
It's soft. And if you're just on the outside looking in, it's definitely soft. Okay. If you're on the outside looking in, what's
there to say right now? I mean, the team won a cup, they're top of the NHL.
No, but there's never been any hard-boiled questions. And then the mood of the media changes win and loss. Okay. If the team loses, Chris, it's like a morgue in that media room. We're so sad and we're so sorry for you. Sob, because there's a lot of homers in there. That's another different show.
I got Tony going.
What's crazy is that we see little effect from that short summer for VGK. And
yes.
Something else I wanted to talk about, though. Teams you would think by now in season 1+, you would think by now, especially within the division, right? Just stick with me, Chris.
Yep.
That they would be more prepared for Cassidy's system because the system's not really changing. It's the same system every night. So
there's 6 years of film out there on it.
Well,
6 years of film.
Yes, exactly. Right. And then do you think, I mean, obviously you can't prepare for game speed and pace and Jack Eichel's long stick, which they talk about ad nauseum. This is a team. Do you think that other clubs in the Pacific Division are going to eventually catch up to VGK's system? That's where I was going with that.
I mean, it's not VGK's system. It's Bruce Cassidy's system, which is much different than DeBoer's and Gallant's. DeBoer's was just get shots in and spray and pray and hope, right? Gerard Gallant, very aggressive on the forecheck. I would argue even a stronger physical game at times than what Cassidy has. And that was also part of roster composition and Ryan Reeves. Well, Ryan Reeves already ruining his welcome in Toronto. Like, same thing every year. Healthy scratch by January. We love Revo. We love everything about him, except when he puts on an NHL uniform. And I hate to say it like that, but that's the reality. And good on him for getting a bag of $4 million from Toronto. A nice retirement gift for when he does step away from hockey. We're talking about the system right now and teams preparing. It's also the skill. It's also the players. It's the buy-in. It's the execution. I think that's the biggest part of it. You know what the system is, right? The film is out there. Cassidy, if he was willing to sit down, on a one-on-one basis, he would tell you all 31 teams what their system is. And it wouldn't just be, well, they play a 1-3-1. They play a trap. They play the neutral zone trap. It would be, here's what they do. Here's why they do it. Here's how they do it. Here's who does what. And Cassidy will go that far into it. And the people around Cassidy, his closest coaches and everything, can tell you the same things. Can other NHL coaches go that in depth? It's not just about Cassidy's system. It's about Cassidy finding ways to beat other coaches' systems. And let's give some credit here to the players too, because there's a lot of pretty good talent on the Golden Knights. Although the top line isn't rated as high, we'll talk about that in the second segment. There you go, Tony. Mini segue there for you. I'm learning. But Cassidy is very good at the chess match, the game within the game, lineups. I really was hoping the Avalanche game was going to be a lot closer because I wanted to see Bednar versus Cassidy, and that just didn't happen because the game was a runaway. But it would have been interesting to see how Cassidy would have kept the third line away from McKinnon and Picard, the third defensive pairing and stuff like that.
Coming up next, no
Yes.
respect for VGK's top line. We'll talk about that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. It says it right up there on the rundown. Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better way to get into the action. The app is so easy to use, and there's a wide range of betting options, including point spreads, player props, totals. Stinking Raiders couldn't get an extra 3 points for that game to go over on Sunday. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off this NFL season the right way. FanDuel, the official partner of the National Football League.
Pretty awesome.
Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We appreciate you doing so. Of course, subscribe to that YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. So, Chris, I sent you an article from Bleacher Report, I believe it was, and they rank not only just the top 5 top lines in the National Hockey League. Well, first of all, is there confusion perhaps of who's on the top line or what the top line actually is for VGK? That maybe that's why they're not in the top 5. In fact, they're not even an honorable mention. They're not an honorable mention here. I believe they should be top 2 or 3. I'm really, I don't like the rest of the stinking lineup, but I definitely like the top line. Okay. Got that out as well. So, again, VGK, not only did they perform well during the regular season last year, but they dominated the postseason. They absolutely dominated the postseason.
No doubt.
And this to me was Dis City. So the honorables, we'll talk real fast about. Okay, so they had the honorable mentions were Detroit. You had the Ducks with Vatrone, McTavish, and Strome. You had the Panthers with Reinhart, with Barkov, with Evan Rodriguez, and then they also had Philadelphia in honorable mentions. And these are decent lines. I'm not
Frost
blasting
and
them.
Forrester, I'm assuming.
Cam Atkinson, Couturier, and Owen Tippett.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For Philly. Okay, so from the 5th position on up to the top. So the Penguins were number 5 with Sid the Kid, with Brian Rust, with Jake Gunsel. And then you had Ottawa with Brady Tkachuk, Claude Giroux, and Tim Stützle. And number 3 was LA with Kopitar, Kempe, and Byfield. And of course, VGK dominated the Kings, the second-ranked team that they have here. It's according to Bleacher Report, top line. Edmonton with McDavid, Draisaitl, Zach Hyman. And then the Dallas Stars were number 1 with Jason Robertson. And these are all good lines. Don't get me wrong. Rupe Hintz and Joe Pavelski. So given those top 5 lines from the Penguins, Ottawa, LA, to Edmonton, to Dallas, where do you feel, Chris Golick, VGK would fit in? Because I think they're no worse than number 2 or 3 with the top line, and potentially even number 1, based on their performance again of the past season. And now Jack Eichel, I think, is becoming a legitimate superstar. He's becoming a superstar right before our eyes in the NHL.
I'm with you on everything Eichel there. I mean, we don't got to dig too deep in there. they're looking at 5-on-5 play, no power play time, separate animal. Top 5 rankings, track record, included new lines this season, honorable mentions. So away we go. So we're reading an opinion piece basically right now, which is okay. I just want to find out where they are coming from. So early in the season, I was down on Barbashev, who still only has 4 goals and 1 assist, I believe, to this day today. Concerns about Barbashev, his role on the top line. Cassidy,
Can we compare him to Riley Smith in statistics here? Just
no,
kidding.
because
Go ahead.
you'll get grilled for that. Because don't do
I
that.
think that's kind of
like
stupid, and I thought that was
that's
dumb.
like
Okay.
that's like walking on Indian burial ground. You just don't do it.
Okay. And Barbashev will have more points, and he'll be
He'll
eventually
be
get there. And I
fine.
love every stinking thing that guy does on the ice. I do. The net front presence they missed before, he puts his body on the line in front of the net. He
No
fights
doubt.
the puck battles, the forecheck, every single thing to make both Eichel and Marchessault better. Okay.
No, you're 1,000% locked in there. Locked on, locked in. There you go.
Locked on.
Locked in, locked on for the everydayers. So I wrote the article. It was probably about 7 games in. I talked to Barbashev in practice about it, talked to Cassidy, and they all gave very honest assessments of how things were going. And then all the fans start sending me links to Money Puck. Oh, the top line, they're the 4th ranked line in the NHL.
Is that where they were on Money Puck?
Huh. That's where they were on Money Puck. So
okay, that's better than not even being in the top 5.
Well, but hold on a second, and they're not in the top 5 anymore. So the main formula that Money Puck uses is what's called expected goals. It's abbreviated as X goals. Blocked shot attempts have no value. The expected goal value assumes the player's average shooting ability taking the shot. A player's talent is not factored into this metric. So, I mean, there's a little bit of opinion there, but they do break it down to a mathematical formula. The Golden Knights' best ranked line on Money Puck comes in at 30th. It's the Carrier-Wah-Kolesar combination, oddly enough, with an X goal rating of 59.3. We have to scroll all the way down to 59 to find Barbashev, Eichel, Marchessault with an expected goal rating of 55.1.
Makes no sense.
Well, statistically, I mean, listen, we have an opinion piece that we just read on Bleacher Report. They didn't put the Marchessault line. There you go, Tony. They didn't put the Marchessault line in the top 5. Okay, fair, fine. Not even honorable mention, so they don't even make the top 10. When you break it down from a statistical standpoint, they're all the way down to 59. So when you think about it like that, I mean, there's some meat on the bone right now. I think they're coming around, first of all. Eichel's had an awesome couple of days. Marchessault finds ways to score. Barbashev had a big goal Thursday against Winnipeg, a nice rebound goal. So Barbashev is making an impact. But right now, this second, minus what Eichel's been doing, it really hasn't been clicking as much. It's better today than it was, 4 days ago. Let's be clear about this. Before that, the lull was certainly continuing. So, I mean, listen, the Golden Knights they have a bunch of ones in their record right now, 11-1-1. And the top line, this lethal line of Eichel, Marchessault, and Barbashev comes in at 59. Imagine how much better this team gets, which is impossible because they're 11-1-1. But once that line does continue to click and stuff. So I guess my point is fans can't have it both ways. Fans can't send me all these links to Money Puck saying, oh, how dare you say anything bad about what Barbashev is doing? Look where this top line is ranked. Everything is fine. Okay, well, fans, look at it today. They're 59. They are 59, technically behind the VGK's 4th line. And there's a lot more to that. Like, I get that. But at the end of the day, the respect rating, if that's how we're looking at this, Tony, is fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, see, though, a lot of these teams that we're talking about, they have a good top line, but they don't have a good bottom 6. I mean, there's really nothing else behind that top line.
You said the Hyman, McDavid, Draisaitl line was ranked in the top 5, Tony?
Yeah, McDavid.
Bleacher Report?
Yeah. Is Hyman going to get kicked to the curb here pretty soon? It said, actually, in the Bleacher Report, it said McDavid, Draisaitl, I think, and it said anyone else.
Fair enough. Point being is the Hyman, McDavid, Draisaitl line on Money Puck comes in at 82.
The Hyman line.
We'll call the Hyman line is 82, guys. So, Cassidy himself talks about analytics. A a question I posed to Cassidy after the victory against the Winnipeg Jets. Cassidy breaks down the season in 8 to 10 game increments, sits down with the leaders, the captains and such, the coaches, and they have a conversation about things. So my question to Cassidy was, what are you hoping to, of course, outside of results, but what are you looking to see more of out of the team when you do your next 10 game review? And Coach Cassidy right away went to start talking about analytics and how they are at the blue line and such. So, Coach is looking at the analytics side of this. He's looking at the numbers and stuff. Does he have Money Puck saved on his browser? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know the answer to that, but he does look at analytics, advanced analytics and elementary analytics and everything in between. So Golden Knight fans, if you're going to blast me when I talk about Barbashev not doing well and you're going to show me how great the top line is, well, then let's acknowledge reality here. And at least for the moment, the top line is not performing like a top line.
They're top 5. I don't care what anyone says. And when you need that top line, they're so clutch. They do come up,
of course. And this is, this is stuff we can't measure. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. Clutch factor. They're maybe top 2. Okay.
Listen, we're talking EA Sports rankings. I am 1,000% with you. Sometimes you just have to watch the game.
I'm sticking up for VGK today. What's going on here?
No, you'll still get blasted, Tony. You'll get blasted because you didn't say they were number 1. If you would have said that they should be number 1, fine. But they're going to say, "Oh, you said they should be a top 5. They should be 1, Tony," and that's what they're going to say to you.
Coming up next, we will check in with HSK, the Henderson Silver Knights, and we'll talk. Chris will be giving us an update on how Grigory Denisenko is doing.
Okay, to look down, Grigory.
I didn't want to say Gregory or
no, it's Grit. It's Grit.
Okay, can I call him Denisenko? I didn't call him Denisenko.
Don't call him Denisenko. He's
okay. We'll talk. We'll get to this next right here on Locked On Golden Knights. A new NHL season brings all sorts of possibilities. I still say, and Chris might go along with me today because he's in that mood, Jack Eichel could score 50 goals. That's what I'm saying. And VGK could once again hoist the Stanley Cup and repeat back-to-back. And you could also win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper. It's the official daily fantasy app of the Locked On NHL Network. Sleeper is our #1 choice for daily fantasy sports and especially daily fantasy hockey because with Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. That's right. And fans can also play daily fantasy NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, college football even, and you can play that all on Sleeper. And all you have to do is to pick out studs. Jack Hughes, I think, is injured right now, right? Wanted to mention his name.
The dreaded week to week.
Okay, Cam Atkinson. I'm just going to throw names out there now. Frankie Vatrone. Of course, yeah, and Jack Eichel, Jackie Aces, and Larkin, and DeBrincat, because I'm stuck on those guys. Sleeper projections.
Top line.
Let's develop those guys as a top line. Sleeper projections for things like goals, assists, saves. I like that they also evaluate plus minus in there. I think that's pretty cool. McNabb would be a good fantasy pick right now. It was +8, right, or +9. To win 100 times bet on Sleeper, you need to correctly predict the outcome of 8 player stats. You heard us, VGK fans. You can win 100 times your money by playing daily fantasy hockey with Sleeper. So start paying attention. Nail your picks so that you can start to win big. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. Again, go to the Sleeper app. That's code LOCKEDONNHL.
McNabb is +13. Wow.
+13. Since we spoke about him last week, he's +5 more.
If you got action on Sleeper, you're making money.
MVP. Top. Put them on the top line. They'll definitely be, top 5 there. Oh, before we forget, VGK will be visiting the White House coming up next Monday, November the 13th. William Carlson can fall down the steps at the White House and get blitzed. And please, VGK, hear me out right now. Free Kerry Bubbles. His name should be on the cup. and not the guy that they call Pickles or whatever. Okay. Okay. So the Silver Knights, that's where we're going today. Good morning, Chris. How you doing? Silver Knights.
Feels like segment 3.
Grigory Denisenko. You wanted to talk a little bit about him and have an update and his long path to the AHL.
Yeah, so this is fun, guys. So William Karlsson dubs the team the Golden Misfits season #1. Well, we have a silver Misfits in Grigory Denisenko right now in Henderson. This is a fun path. So I think I got the dates right here in my head. October 6th, waived by the Florida Panthers. October 7th, the Golden Knights claim Denisenko with the 32nd overall claim, which means basically Florida plus 30 other teams passed up on him. The following day, the Golden Knights waived Denisenko with the purpose of sending him to the American League. Okay, fine. The Florida Panthers at this point have a decision to make, and the rest of the teams in the NHL, if they wanted to possibly block the deal or if they wanted to just get Denisenko. So everyone passes on Denisenko when the Golden Knights waive him the following day, including Florida, who could have openly claimed him and directly sent him to the AHL without having to waive him again. So basically that means 61 opportunities were passed on to claim him. 61 times teams passed on claiming Denisenko. So obviously he's now a member of the Golden Knights organization, Tony, and he gets obviously sent down to Henderson. So looking at some of the stats right now, seeing what's going on down there. First of all, before yesterday's games, the Silver Knights top in the Pacific, tied for 2nd overall in the league with 14 points. So stuff is happening down there, despite having Keaton Korczak playing up with the Golden Knights right now. Imagine how much better Korczak could make the Silver Knights once the Golden Knights defense returns to full health. So a lot of exciting things happening down there right now in Hendo. Just a quick look at points. Denisenko leads the team with 11 points, 4 and 7. Rempel, who just scores points, great AHL player, can't crack it in the NHL, unfortunately, but he's got 6 and 4, 10 points. 38-year-old Adam Cracknell, what a story. He's 4 and 4 with 8 points. And then some of the more common names we're watching really closely. Brennan Brisson not lighting it up right now. 4 goals, 2 assists, plus 3. A little bit deeper, Bischoff has 4 assists. Lucas Cormier, 4 assists. And Romberg hasn't even scored a goal down there. So point being is things a little bit better in Henderson this year. They got a competitive team on the ice. And I'll say this again, if Denisenko does, I don't know if there's a path to him making the NHL this year, but he's a name you could see with the Golden Knights down the road as far as someone that could be, consideration to make the roster. It'd be a nice story. And we have our first silver misfit. I just love to say that. That's my thing. I'm copyright Golic, silver misfit, Grigory Denisenko.
Oh, I'm going to steal that for an article today.
Go right ahead.
So our good
I already
friend,
wrote my article about it.
Our good friend, Jordan Papirny, is back from the Ghost Pirates up there. The Ghost Pirates, and so he's with Henderson on the AHL level. Isaiah Seville, I haven't followed this very much.
Injured, I think.
Is he still out and injured? And he's definitely not 6 feet tall.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he was listed on Cap Friendly with an undisclosed injury when I was looking the other day. And the reason Papirny is up, shout out. Shout out to the fans for getting this to me. Vekman, I guess, or Vikman, I forgot to say his name, but the other goaltender. Vikman, I'm sorry. Good job, Tony. So the other guy in Henderson is injured, so they brought in the other guy to back up the other guy.
And so what's up with Vikman? He's out.
He's injured.
Okay, good for our guy Papirny, though. We love him.
Papirny, great guy, great story. We gotta get him back on the show. I
know he's so much fun. He's a good dude. He's a really good dude. Coming up on tomorrow's show, we'll talk more about perhaps Carly falling down the steps of the White House. No, we're going to talk about VGK against the Kings. That'll be the game tomorrow. And free Kerry Bubbles.
How about the special Saturday podcast?
Let's go. I was trying to find the right opportunity. You talk about WTF Friday, and now we have WTS.
Yes. So we're gonna see how this goes for a little while. We're gonna have the Chris and Chris show on
The Chris
Saturday
and Chris show.
mornings. That's going to be me and my son Christopher. It's going to be on the same platform, same links and everything. But me and little Christopher, about a little 15-minute podcast every Saturday morning cartoons for now. And we'll see how it goes for a little while. But he's super excited. Obviously, he makes plenty of appearances on this show, as does my daughter Allie. So it's going to be a good time. I'm excited. I'm nervous though. I'm nervous.
To his schoolmate, what are you afraid of? He's going to call you out. You're not giving him the right cereal to eat in the morning.
He might. I'm scared he's going to bring up a sticky note that says "Shut up, Dad."
No, a real quick question though: do the kids at school they know what a celeb he's become?
They're going to. They're going to.
They don't know yet.
He's huge.
Of course, coming up tomorrow, we'll have all that.
His hockey team knows all about it. Hey, Chris got a goal last night, by the way. Christopher got a goal. He got a greasy goal. He was been playing defense. I moved him up at forward yesterday because I know he's a really good finisher. So we put him up there and bam. Greasy goal, finished it. Oh, he sellied. He stayed on his feet, though, at least this time.
Yeah, this time. That was the best celebration ever. I'm still laughing at that video. That was so much fun. Again, you can tune into that on Saturdays. We're calling it the Chris and Chris show.
YouTube only, exclusive.
YouTube only. I think
YouTube only.
By public demand, we'll get that on audio too. And then, of course,
maybe not yet.
What the Friday with all your comments on Fridays. And we appreciate you all, especially our everydayers. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you tomorrow. It'll be game day. It feels like it's been so long in between games. Oh, my goodness. There's no back-to-backs. There's no 4 and 6s. There's no 3 and 4s.
So
see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.